Sir Luton, and welcome to this Markov Dossier Battle Report. My name is Scott, and I'm here with Sam.
Howdy, Pilgrims.
And we are going to be discussing our final game, asterisk maybe, of the Call of the Red and White campaign.
Yep, much like that last Christmas decoration that's been lying around since January because you missed it the first time round, we finally got round to completing the Christmas campaign in June. Yeah, that's good. We're fine with that. And to complete the Christmas campaign, we had got to Clash 4, which is entitled The Polar Express Delivery. Scott had won the previous clash, which led us to this one. So the point of this clash is there are 4 points on the board that Kyle needs to visit, with Scott escorting him, to each gaining him 10 VP if he manages it. However, I can hold those 4 points for 5 BP for each turn that I hold them. Once Kyle has visited a point, that point is removed from the board and no further VPs can be won from it. So it's all about holding territory and making sure that Scott wasn't able to get to it. And for this clash, as it was escalation, we moved ourselves up to 2,500 points. That's a lot of models. It was a lot of models on the table. And this did present some logistical challenges because for thematic reasons, we decided that it would be a great idea to play this at UKGE. We did discuss that this may cause a few problems, because one of the things we did know we would have a problem with is that UKGE in the playtesting area doesn't have full-size wargaming tables. They have long trestle tables. They're only about 3 foot wide and about 8 feet long, aren't they? Because you get 6 to 8 feet long. So it's a narrow war game. So we decided that we might be able to play it lengthways down the table rather than widthways. Of course, that does then bring the logistical problems of trying to get 2,500 points into a 3 foot deployment zone. A bit tricky, a bit tight.
Yeah, for an Enlightened player, much more difficult than for me, but even I struggled. Like, I only added 1, 2, 3, 4 new units into my force, but even with just those 4 new units, I really struggled to cram everything into that, like, 12-ish inch deployment zone over, I think it was only about 2 feet or 2.5 feet. It wasn't quite 3.
Yeah,
it was compact.
So, do you want to go over your list first? What you've added?
Yeah, can do. So previous video, it is going to stay the same rules. I'm not going to go over my original list. You can see that in video 1, but I will go over what was added. So my initial thing was, and this is a caveat to this force, is that our forces were built pre-global update. So I was taking a Gelv battle group, which I couldn't take anymore because the Scion command platoons lost Teutonic, because there is now a Teutonic command group, but I've kept it as it is because we built the forces prior, and the same with Sam's forces. Like, any battle groups remained as they were because that was the plan from the original. We didn't factor in the idea of the global update may remove things and change things, and it also had an effect on both of our lists as well, because I think you said your points costs dropped.
Yeah, lots of my units dropped in points, which meant it was now cheaper to buy things. But yeah, it was an interesting exercise in juggling your groups around a bit. So What did you add?
So I added 2 groups of Sturm wagons in each group, rather than doing 8 and 8, because I had a plan, but we'll come back to that later. I added some Totenkopf Jaeger cavalry, which is the singular bikes on their own. There was 10 of those guys. That was a reinforced unit. And then I added a reinforced Sturmpanzer group, which was quite tasty. The thinking was, my stuff was not fast enough in the past 2 games, so I was going to add some transports to give some speed out, and the Totenkopf are super speedy, and for tanks, even the Sturmpanzers are fairly manoeuvrable, but also, tanky. So,
yeah, and it was a good idea because this scenario particularly required speed. You need to get from point A to point B to point C and D quite quickly. So, manoeuvrable was what you went for. So, with my list, what I went for was reinforcing a lot of my existing units up to full strength. So things like, for example, my citizen soldiers went up to full strength, my seekers went up to full strength, and so did my monocavs. But I also added a couple of new units. I added a basic brute enforcer cohort, so that was mainly to use at the points. I also decided now was the time to bring in the sickles and the scythes. I took in a scythe drone squadron. I also reinforced up the Enceladus as well, so I got 2 reinforced groups and brought my Marses up to full strength as well. And I took a different boon, swapped my boons for something different. I'll come to that in a bit.
Yeah, I didn't have any boons on mine. I've just realised I did also reinforce my Scion Verling Dryad, which is the bikes with their sidecars and super machine guns on. I added 4 more of those to that group, so they were another fast but decently armed unit to try and deal with the hordes and hordes and hordes of infantry I was expecting. So
So let's crack on to it. So, as we said, deployment was going to be tight. You won the initiative on the deployment, didn't you? So we were deploying. It got to the point where I just thought, right, I'm just going to have to leave about a third of my army in reserve because I just can't get any more models on this space at the moment. So I left all my Marses in reserve. And
citizen soldiers went in reserve, I think, because they came on in the mass block at the
citizen soldiers went into reserve because I just couldn't be. But I thought I've got 24 blooming bases to put on here. War Cradle, please, we need army trays. Desperately need trays. So I put a lot of mine in reserve, but it was a crowded end. My end.
Yeah, like I said, I managed to pack pretty much everybody onto my side of the table. Nobody had to go into reserve. There was the heavy Verling infantry went in the stern wagons. I hitched up the Essenfield rockets to the other stern wagons.
Which almost sounds like a good idea.
It does almost sound like a good idea, and I had even further good idea, but we'll come to that when it comes. The only other thing of note is obviously, as you can see in the photo, Carl the Red and White is with my Totenkopf Jaeger cavalry, just because they've got a nice meaty
move. So the objective markers we put on the town, you can't see them in this photo because they're actually sitting under the buildings, but objective marker 1 was under the pink windmill at the top of the picture. Objective marker 2 is in the cardboard school building, which is the building nearest the bottom right of this picture. The sort of cross-shaped building, that's the school building. The next objective marker is just off the edge of the picture. It's actually the workshop. I thought, Santa trying to get to the workshop was kind of thematic. And the final objective marker is the building that's by... Is that my fist or your fist? That's my fist, yeah. By my fist at the top building there, the cottage. That's the final objective marker.
Yeah.
So 2 on each side. So 2 within easy reach, 2 you've got to strive for. Right then, so turn 1. Now, turn 1 is normally the cagey turn, the bit where you're manoeuvring around and maybe a couple of pot shots. Oh no, we've both bought aircraft. Turn 1 turned into quite the carnage round. So you went first, and you quite surprisingly decided to attack my artillery park with your interceptors, which I must admit I was very surprised at, because what they're actually good at is destroying other aircraft like my scythe, though I didn't think my scythe would get anywhere. But no, you decided to go on a strafing run. And I think this is mainly because you've been on the receiving end of my artillery more than once and decided you don't like them very much.
Yeah, no, it was a case of the only time I've run against scythes is when we did the playtesting, and we ran the interceptors against the scythes, and the interceptors just wiped them out completely. And I was just like, I can deal with them another time. They won't be that devastating. It's fine. Those crawlers need to go as quickly as possible, because they have been the bane of my existence in both the other games we've played. So I was just like, I've got penetrating on this. It doesn't work well against the Colossus, which I remembered from last time. I also remembered from last time that I can activate my aircraft in turn 1. Yeah,
I think it's the only turn you remember to activate them. I don't think you used them the next turn.
I did use them the next turn because I was proud of myself that I actually remembered to use them in both the turns that they activated. So the only super proud moment of that game for me was I actually remembered to use my aircraft in both instances. They didn't do a hell of a lot, but at least they did something, so can't really complain too much.
So you attacked my artillery park, and I think you basically took out one crab.
Yeah, because they've got penetrating on. I did a point damage, one crab dead.
Yeah, and now we come to my attack run. Well, I thought, I'm not wasting this opportunity. I'm going a shooting. Scott didn't know my aircraft could turn on a dime. He thought, hang on a minute, have you turned sideways? And I said, because I've got this rule, which means we can. So I was now strafing along his line, and I was targeting his transports. Just so you know, that aircraft you can see there that looks suspiciously like a DW thing, that is actually Radimir's kit bash he built for me. I have got an official scythe there as well, but I have two scythes. It's my proxy scythe. I call it the Thresher. So we've got the sickle, the scythe, and the threshing machine. But yeah, it's Radimir's, and it's a lovely thing. I need to get it painted up. But yeah, so I come in down the side and I strafe your transports with the coruscating. And did I press the big red button to get the overcharge? Of course I did, because I know scythes are made of paper and they probably wouldn't survive a second run. So I'm giving this one everything it's got. And man, this was a mess. Units started exploding all over the place. All with your lovely Teutonic Knights in them, and all your guns on the back. I don't think I destroyed... Did I destroy a complete unit? I don't think I did I? But I actually devastated all the units it hit. There wasn't much left either.
Yeah, you halved every single unit that was hit.
Yeah.
Which, again, because we hadn't used scythe since the playtesting, I'd forgot they'd got overcharged, because if I'd have remembered they got overcharged, they definitely would have made it to that side of board, because that kind of nonsense is just not going to happen.
Yeah, I think my overcharge was it a 9 I pulled?
It was a 9.
It was a 9 I pulled on my overcharge. Naturally, they didn't survive that. The blanks just totaled them both, but not before they'd wiped out half of every unit they'd hit, which, while I didn't get any VP for doing that, because I'd only halved units, it definitely put a dent in your plans, because all your elite infantry was in that. And all your guns as well. Worth it. And they crashed into units as well, didn't they? Complete suicide run.
It demolished one of the tanks, which had the armigers in it. It demolished 2 of the tanks carrying the Essen field rockets, who were supposed to carry up the board. In fact, actually, no, you did destroy an entire unit, because my Essen field rockets never got set up. Because they got crashed into by the fiery demise part, didn't they?
Oh, I did get some VP for that.
Yes, it's only like 2 VB or something like that, because the Essen field rockets is still basic, because I haven't painted more. But yeah, it was pretty devastating. My plan was to use one of the stern wagons to move my command platoon to the centre of the board and stick them in the castle to just be a bit of a pain in the arse and a bit of a distraction there. But the unit didn't even make it past the deployment stage. So, yeah, lesson learned. Scythes must die. Everything must die. Everything with overcharge must die.
Overcharge is lovely. Don't you dare take it away from me. So that was the stat. Literally, first rolls of the game. It was just brilliant. Absolute carnage.
It was pure carnage. Yeah, so that was pretty that was literally the first two activations were aircraft and aircraft, so we didn't get any worries about anti-air stuff coming in, so
Turn 1, after that, pretty cagey, people moving up and so on, into turn 2, where the action starts to build up. So my first action was to bring in my Marses on a flank attack. That could have been great. It turned out not to be quite so great, because you just decided, well, that's a bloody big target, let's have those. They didn't make it for much. Didn't make it for long.
No, they, again, anything with overcharge must die. That is with extreme prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they came in on the flank. I just let it happen because I was just like, the reach of my tanks, the reach of my Totenkopf are pretty good against heavy as well. They've got penetrating. There was a lot on that side of the board that was just equipped to deal with the Marses. So I was just like, yep, bring them in. Let's cut them down.
I played a bluff. I played a command.
Yes.
Thinking it was just a low card because I actually wanted to bring them at the rear, not in the flank. I wanted to pull out a big card from you so I could put the Marses on the flank, and that's what happened.
Yes. So yeah, I did waste a big card on that as well. I wasted an 11 because, like you said, I expected them to come in on the flank and rush into the side of one of my infantry units and take up a position somewhere that was just going to be difficult to shift because it was just a massive block of infantry.
As you can see here, my Mars squadron has been reduced in size by half quite rapidly.
Yeah, that was my Sturmpanzers and the Totenkopf combined. I think the Sturmpanzers took 2 down, and then my Totenkopf managed to take 1 down because I think, they've also got penetrating, so I just needed to do a single point of damage to one of those.
Yeah.
And it removes a single model. So, yeah, they took a bit of a beating.
Also, critically, you have managed to reach this first objective on the Pink Windmill, earning you a 10-pointer there. On the other side, I'm holding the other 2 for 5 points, but then I later on forget what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes.
This is where things get interesting.
Right, so this is me charging my Faust into the Horsel.
Yep, that was a concern for me, because as we proved last time, while the Horsel may be great at taking out things like tanks and infantry, it doesn't stand a chance against a Faust in hand-to-hand combat, and that's pretty much what happened. It started taking some serious hits from your Faust.
Yeah, it took a bit of a tonking, but from last time I was just like, I know that this is going to be able to take the Horsel in a fist fight, so that's what we're going to do. Big stompy machines fighting each other.
I was a bit annoyed because my plan was to get it over to just up the edge of the city. You can see some tanks. My plan was I wanted to get one of the tanks and yeet it, and get the right word, yeet. That doesn't sound right with somebody my age saying it, does it? Throw it at the Faust just for chuckles, because I thought that would be funny. We didn't quite manage that, unfortunately.
this is your Monocav.
Oh yes, the Monocav charged into your trikes. Is it your trikes that were there?
It was just the normal bikes.
Normal bikes. And to the surprise, I think, of everybody, actually won the fight and captured Kyle. Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely just destroyed that unit. I think the final 2 models went to break, didn't they? Because I failed my suppression test, and their break limit is fairly low.
Yeah.
And break limit of 2. Yeah, it was the last 2 guys just went, no, you can have Kyle the red and white. We're done.
He smells funny.
Yeah. Right, so yeah, that is Kyle the red and white out of my hands. So this is mid turn 2. As you can see, it's
getting messy.
It's getting very messy.
Because I did something dumb. In taking my monocavs all the way up to take out your bikes, I'd abandoned the first objective I captured, which means I wasn't getting points for it, which was like, oops, that was stupid. And also, the artillery that's next to objective 2 can't hold it. So I was like, oh, drat, which is why I had to scramble, and I think I've put last surviving Hellion base managed to get to. Hellions don't last long with me. They die quickly. Managed to get the Hellion to the second objective to hold it, the workshop. But I'd abandoned the first objective, so I'd lost the advantage there. Aha. Kablooey.
Yes.
Right then. You had decided that not only did the Horsail need to die, but the Wells needed to die as well, because you knew that was an overcharging, coruscating menace, and you'd been shooting it quite consistently and taking big chunks out of it with dice rolls. I was down to 1 point, and you managed to disembark your Teutonic Knights near it, hadn't you? Is it your Teutonic Knights?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
And then I think you should tell the story from this part.
So yeah, I'd done super well against the Wells, like a massive roll for the arc cannon from the Seeger. I think it's 24 hits or something like that. It was somewhere around there, just for one of the first hits, and I just absolutely thraked it. But there was not a lot else that could shoot at it that was in range or in line of sight. So I had the super fun and cool idea, as you can just about see from the corner of the picture. I disembarked my armigers, who charged in and
smacked it with
there's only like 2 points of damage left.
No, I had 1 point of damage left, literally 1 point of damage left, and you hit it.
Yeah. I rolled well enough to take the last damage off, and I was like, yes, now I've just got to try and hope you don't roll the catastrophic explosion.
And this is where my plan comes in, because the boon I have took is weaponized hubris. For those that have not encountered this lovely, lovely boon, this guarantees a catastrophic explosion, and the blast radius is increased by the number of the order of card you play on it. Card order you played it. I just happened to be holding onto a 12 the entire game and played that. So we now had a 12-inch blast radius, and it was a big blast. Everybody was getting hit.
Yes. Yeah. It was pretty spectacular. I think I lost 1, 2, 3 units, plus my Seeger and Faust took a big chunk of damage off each of them.
Both survived, but they were
both survived. Yeah, but they were hurting.
Yeah. I actually lost some models as well from it. But this had been my plan. I thought, I am going to charge one of these into the combat and try and get them to explode and take as many of you with me as I can. And it paid off pretty well. I love weaponized hubris. I am damn well using that again.
I mean, you say it paid off pretty well, but it lost you the game.
Well, okay, yeah, I did lose more points than I gained, but I laughed my head off doing it, and I still count that as a win.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah, I think on your side it took out your Seekers, that's it.
Yeah.
Took out Seekers, took out a couple of your artillery. It took out your other super heavy. It took out...
Yeah, the Horsehall didn't survive either.
No, the Horsehall went. I was really, really kind of wondering if that would go catastrophic explosion, but it didn't.
It just went normal.
Yeah, it just went slight kaboom, not nuclear explosion kaboom. I think you took out your own Scythe squadron as well, didn't you? But they're not worth any points, really, so that wasn't really a big loss.
No.
You took out one of your Marses, because it was at this point that I was kind of like, you had one of your Marses left on the edge of the table for such a long time, and I was trying desperately to get it to fail a suppression test because it was already suppressed.
Yeah.
So if it failed, it'd have to go backwards 3 inches, but it would go off the table.
Yeah.
And so I'd get the points for it that way. But yeah, no, it just, everything I threw at it kept holding on. But yeah, it was a spectacular explosion, and death rained down on pretty much most of the infantry I had in that area. My Scion command platoon that was bunkered up in a house died. Both of my heavy infantry died. My remaining Sturmwagen and Sturmpanzers all died. It was just...
It's that anime explosion, you know, the anime movies where you suddenly zoom out and suddenly Neo Tokyo's got a big white ball in the middle of lightning coming off it.
It was pretty horrific.
It's brilliant. Oh, I'm definitely doing that again.
Just means I'm going to try and destroy you on the other side of the board next time.
Yeah,
which won't
trying
happen.
to destroy it. I'm still down. I'm down to one Monocav, and he's hanging on to Kyle for grim death.
Yeah, again, like he trying to force a suppression test on him with my bikes. I hadn't got a lot left now, so I got the bikes, the tanks, and the 2 super heavies, and a command construct that's in the building you can just see there, and that was pretty much it. So my plan was to get my bikes to take Carl the Red and White back, but I had to kill the Monocav or get them to fall back, because if you fall back you leave Carl the Red and White behind. But neither of those things were happening. He did not want to die, and he was not giving up Carl the Red and White.
No. And this is where we had to end it. By this point it was 9:30 at night.
Yeah, something like that.
We had to pack. We could have stayed long. I mean, it's open all night, and we could have stayed long, but we had a long drive back home. It's over an hour to get back home, and we got to pack up. So we called it at the end of round 2, and that was the final score. A narrow win for Scott, but a win is a win. We did debate what would happen if we kept going, because I still had a large amount of infantry left sitting at the back. You could have easily probably retook Kyle and maybe got to another thing, but it was a fantastic game, but we just ran out of time, unfortunately, to finish it off. It could have gone either way at this point, but we called it there, and I graciously conceded defeat, and Scott wins the campaign with a major victory.
I would have liked to have done the full game. It would have been better to end it on a full game, but the table size and the time pressure and it was a silly idea to do it there, but we sort of committed to it, so we decided to just go ahead and do it there.
We were discussing this before we went, that this probably wouldn't be able to finish, but we thought, what the hell, let's do it.
Yeah, we just decided.
I think a message for future us: don't try and do wargaming at UKGE unless you're planning on doing more than one day there.
don't do it. Don't, even if you've got more than one day there, the tables are too small. You won't have a good enough game. And I would say that to anybody, unless UKGE decide to start doing, because there was a lot more wargaming there this year, like stand presence. There was more miniatures games than there was the previous years we went. So maybe next year, if they do a couple of open play war games tables where it's proper 6x4, then I'd consider it, but it's just too small. And if you are only doing one day, there's just no point. Like you say, you need the whole weekend, because potentially, I don't know, actually I was going to say potentially you could leave it there and pick it up in the morning, like just come straight from the hotel or from home and just pick up the game in the open play area. But
I would not be happy leaving my models out. No.
So yeah, don't do it unless they decide to do a dedicated wargaming tables at UKGE for open play. Don't do it. We did consider asking, like, is there any way we could get a bigger table somewhere, like, because there were Warhammer tournaments there, but I think they're only Kill Team, which is like 2 foot by 3 foot, which is about what it is anyway. I'm not sure if they do the Star Wars Legion tournaments for the Nationals at UKGE or not.
I don't remember seeing them, but yeah. I mean, we could have grabbed 2 trestle tables and put them side to side, but we thought that might be rude because they were. Yeah. When we set up, it was quite busy. Yeah. Just nicking 2 tables did feel, that's probably not the done thing.
Yeah, because the open play area was actually quite busy when we sat down. We kind of, not last year, but the year before, when we played like a really, really small game of Dystopian Wars, but we only had like a battleship and a couple of ships each.
Yeah.
Like that was a big enough table for that, because we literally had 2 ships. There was no objective. It was just like, we're just going to kill and have like roll some dice at UKGE. Yeah. So that was fine. But yeah, I wouldn't try and play a full proper war game. Not even a skirmish game like Wild West Exodus or Trench Crusade or Malifaux, anything like that that's small, and the tables just aren't big enough for it. It's not worth it.
It's a pity. Well, another time maybe, but yeah, we could always replay it. We could even pick off if we could possibly even recreate where we got to at the time.
I mean, it might be possible. We've got photos of the final sort of things.
Got a good idea what was alive and what wasn't.
Yeah, rough ideas of how much damage was done to each one. So we'll see. I think I'd prefer to replay it completely, because having a bigger table in general would change it, because the objectives were really close together. Like we couldn't put them out in the suggested sort of pattern, because you had to be 12 inches away from a deployment zone and 12 inches away from another one. And you just couldn't do it. There was not enough room on the table, so we just decided we'll do it in a square, so they're roughly 12 inches away from each other vertically, but not horizontally. They were like about 6 inches apart from each other.
Yeah, a bit more than 6, but yeah. But yeah, it was fun to try.
Yeah, it was a fun game.
Yeah. But I think possibly we could have spent the time better actually trying out stuff at the demos, at the stands and everything, rather than... Yeah.
I mean, do you want to talk a little bit about UKGE before we sort of sign off and MVP and stuff?
Let's do that. Why not? We've got time. We might as well put it on the end of this. So we've done UKGE multiple years now and always had a really good time. We were there early-ish doors. Just as the doors opened, we arrived. So we were straight to War Cradle stand, and we had a good look around those cabinets at what we saw, and we got very excited by what we saw. Oh, so it's no secret. We took photo. There is going to be some official more War Cradle terrain, which includes trees, walls. There's some hedges. Was the hedges as well? There was definitely stone walls.
I'm not sure.
Trees.
Yeah, there's craters.
Craters, yeah.
Yeah, so what was there was walls, trees, and craters, and that was it.
Yeah, we also got to have a look at the new Union and Enlightened stuff for Armoured Clash. They are impressive. The big boys for both those factions are considerably bigger than we thought they would be. The big crab is a hefty thing.
Yeah, that's massive.
Yeah, and the Talon rotors we got to see as well, because I hadn't seen those in the plastic yet. That's a big aircraft.
Yeah. I mean, the Undertakers were a little bit smaller than I expected, I'll be honest with you. I kind of expected maybe about 50% bigger. Not like chunkier, but just taller.
I think you'd have, I think given how thin they are, if you made them taller, you'd probably have balance issues. But the Undertakers are by far and away my favourite model in that set. I love them. They are so retro sci-fi for me. Absolutely, I'm building big units of those.
Yeah, and not confirmed by anybody, but the phonic weaponry on there is very reminiscent of a Wild West Exodus Enlightened peer, that's for certain.
Oh yes, Edison's. One of the tentacles on the Undertaker is a big speaker. If you played Wild West Exodus, you'll know Thomas Edison's Discordant Symphony posse has phonic blaster menials, which basically carry giant megaphone weapons which use sonic blasts. So hopefully that's what that is. So we'll see that when the rules come out.
The flyer's pretty chunky as well. That's very, very cool.
Well, we did get to answer a question on that, because there was a lot of debate. Was the flyer just the big crab with legs or wings? It's not. The body is slightly smaller, so they are separate models. You can't just build two big crabs with it. You've got to build a flyer and a crab.
Yeah. There's not really, from what it looks like, there's not really a way to do that.
Yeah.
From the set, just looking at the models, like you say, it's ever so slightly smaller. And a slightly different configuration in the vents on the top.
Yeah, so it is a separate body. The table they got set up was fantastic, much better than the previous year we went to. So we got the building set up. They've done something ruined buildings, which look really good. That's a modelling idea for the future. If you've got spare buildings, start hacking at them, make them a bit ruined.
Yeah, they've done a lot of, because when we first demoed it, it was just basically like a old school White Dwarf Warhammer table with like the green flock and the buildings on top of it and a hill made out of cardboard. But they've done a really nice job on the new demo table. They had like a wrecked, was it a Lakota?
Was it wrecked, or was it just that's where they just parked? So the last player had just parked it.
No, because
there is a wrecked. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, in the middle, there's a wrecked. Some wrecked flatbeds in the middle. Yeah,
that was really cool. They've done a real good job of making a proper table. And while we were standing talking to a couple of guys from War Cradle, it was quite busy. Like, we went back a couple of times because we were hoping to try DW version 4 because we haven't played it properly since the playtesting version.
Yeah,
we've got the stuff for it, but it was just because we've been focused on Armoured Clash and then other things have happened. We've not had the chance to play DW version 4 yet. We would very much like to at some point. So we just thought, well, while we're there, if the table's free at any point, we'll just grab a quick demo and see what it's like. But
it was rammed.
Sadly, it was rammed. Well, I say sadly.
It was great to see it was rammed, yeah.
Yeah, and there was people sort of queuing up for the Armoured Clash, sort of waiting for demos as well, which was cool to see. So yeah, it was good.
Absolutely. So yeah, we had a good look around the War Cradle, and we then went wandering and had good chats with other good people. My highlight was I got to meet Ian Livingstone, the Ian Livingstone, founder of Games Workshop, writer of fighting fantasy books. We also got to meet Jonathan Green, who wrote Valiant, and had a quick chat with him about that. And that was lovely to meet him.
Really nice guy. Maybe be able to talk to him in the future. We have to ask nicely. But he was like, yeah, I'd love to talk to you about Valiant. But obviously, we don't want to just do these things.
Yeah, we're not stepping on anyone's toes or anything like that. He was a nice bloke.
Yeah, he was a really nice bloke. He was nice to talk to. He was very sort of accommodating and happy to chat to us about Valiant. He had a very interesting book, which was Shakespeare Cthulhu crossover, which I was kind of interested in, but obviously he was on the same stand as Ian Livingstone, and obviously he's done a lot of fighting fantasy stuff himself, so people were also eager to talk to him about that, so we were kind of conscious of taking up too much time, so we kind of moved on. I did intend to go back.
I couldn't believe you could just talk to Sir Ian Livingstone, because I knew he was there, but I thought he's going to be tucked away in a booth somewhere, and it's going to be like, you'll book time with him. But no, he's right there on the table talking about his book, shaking people's hand. Because I went past you and went, "That's Sir Ian bloody Livingstone." Turned around very quickly and went, "I've got to talk to him."
It's quite surprising that he was just sort of sat there. We never saw Chris Barry, who was meant to be there, which was a shame, because I'd have... If we got the same access to him as we'd have got to Ian Livingstone, that would have been very interesting.
I think he was in the hotel.
Yeah, probably. What else did we see? There's loads of stuff. I know that they've grown it like year on year. From the first year we went to this year, it's like grown by, I think they said like 10, 20%. 20,
yeah, it's definitely like more halls to look around this time.
But yeah, because there was 4 halls this time, wasn't there?
Yeah. And they weren't all connected. You had to trek a bit.
Yeah, it was a bit of a trek.
Yeah.
And the NEC is it's of its time. Like, there's one bottled water fill station for those 4 halls. You had to queue for like 30 minutes, didn't you, to get a water
apparently
refill?
there are some in the food stations as well, but you couldn't get to those either. I was 30 minutes just to fill up my water bottle was quite insane. Felt like quite a task. And aspects of the food at the NEC, it's very, very expensive, and its texture, it ain't food. If you buy from the official ones, there is a food court that they do outside the building, but you've got to trek right around the lake back to the hotel to get to it. And when we're hungry, we just literally grabbed the first food van we could see, which did chicken nuggets and chips, which weren't bad but expensive.
Yeah, we got 3 nuggets, and there's a good portion of chips. We got 3 nuggets, and it was like nearly £10. I was just like,
yeah,
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Later on, I had some nachos from one of the official NEC outlets. It was 13 quid, and she'd run out of salsa, the cheese, so it was literally just nachos and salsa. And they were okay, but certainly not worth 13 quid.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. But you're kind of trapped. You haven't got a choice.
Yeah, I mean, we have got a choice, but we just decided not to trek all the way around to the Hilton. Was the choice. But next time we'll plan ahead. The reason we didn't is because the year that we went round to go and get food, and we checked all the way around to the front of the Hilton, we got there and they were like, "We're not open until for another 30 minutes," and it was just like, well, we're hungry now, so I guess we've just got to go back and get something from somewhere else. Yeah, which is a shame. But
it was a shame.
Such is life.
I did my maths when I got home. I actually spent more on food than I did on wargaming stuff. That ain't right. I only bought a little bit of wargaming stuff, and that includes the fact I pre-ordered my Enlightened stuff. Spent more on food.
What else? Warhammer was back there. They had a massive stand. They had a huge stand. We didn't get a chance to look at it because that was quite busy when we looked at it.
Yeah, 3D. You couldn't actually get into it. It was just people stacking up.
Yeah, it was just like, I'm not really that interested. I was kind of sort of wanting to have a little look at the new Armageddon Orc models in the flesh before they came out, but I was not that interested. Had a quick look around the Trench Crusade stand, but that was mega busy as well. Like, people were like around the cabinets and the tables. There's a few places that I expected to be there, and I think you said that there's somebody you're expecting to be there that wasn't there in the end.
Yeah, I was looking for some scenery. I was looking for tools and scenery and stuff, and one of the companies I was hoping was be there wasn't. I was like, damn it.
Yeah, same. Spectre Miniatures was supposed to be there. I wanted to have a look at some of their stuff because they are the British distributor for Blacksite Studios, who do some really cool solo and cooperative miniatures games that is like based in different things, and I wanted to just have a quick look at some of those.
Which one did we look at? Because you were looking for some it does the TV7, what they called.
Crooked Dice.
Crooked Dice, yeah. We had a good work.
Yeah, they have so much cool stuff in Crooked Dice. Like every time I go to a convention, if they're there,
yeah,
I have to go around that stand because it is just chock full of incredible stuff. They are an underrated, underrepresented company, a Crooked Dice, because they are phenomenal.
If you like your pop culture references, Crooked Dice got you sorted for wargaming miniatures. You want the Ghostbusters? They got it. You want the Thundercats? They got it. What was it you picked up today?
I got giant ants for like something. So B-movie stuff. Any B-movie stuff you want, like giant ants, giant spiders, giant rats.
Aliens with big brains, that sort of thing. Yeah. They've got them all, the classic 50s B-movies.
Yeah. Yeah, classic sort of sci-fi series like Battlestar Galactica and Buck Rogers, and like it is just chock full of pop culture stuff, and they have some like unique bits of their own as well, which is sort of old school sci-fi fantasy sort of TV shows, because that's what their games are based around, is like retro TV stuff and TV stuff in general. So yeah, always go to Crooked Dice, always spend some money with them because they are awesome. The TT Combat stand while you were getting some water. I had a look around their stand. They've started doing coloured printed terrain now, which is expensive, but at the same time you don't have to paint it. It's all pre-painted and all pre-textured, and it looks really, really nice. But I think like the Carnivale table is £235 for a full table of terrain, and I was like, it's saving me a lot of time, but it's also a lot of money, and I don't have space for it. So because I mean the War Cradle terrain, pre-coloured terrain, is at least like 50% of that cost, but you can't get a hold of any of those sets anymore, which is a shame. I think
hopefully they will be re-released when Exodus re-releases. We'll get some new of them.
Yeah,
I always wanted them again. I'm same as you. Where the heck am I going to put it?
Yeah, I mean the Dunsmouth stuff was amazing. All the Red Oak stuff was amazing. The Augusta stuff was amazing. I think they still do the Rio Sonora. Is the one they still got stuff of, and the Miscum, which is like the Cthulhu-y mythos sort of stuff with a pub at the firehouse. They've still got that.
Oh yeah. Have they still got any of the Black Lake stuff? The broken boat and everything?
They've got the boats separately and the manor separately, but they don't have like the little huts anymore, which is a shame. And they don't do the massive other house that was with Dunsmouth either. The one that's not ruined. I can't remember what it's called. Something Manor. Tillinghast Manor. Is that right? Rings a bell. But yeah, like it's half the price of that, but at the same time, that is just literally they've coloured the wood, whereas with the stuff they're doing at TT Combat, it looks like textured, so the big old sort of industrial pylons look like they're rusted and stuff on them. It's not just it's coloured grey. It is literally, it's like got a proper painted texture to it rather than just a coloured wood. So I understand the price, but I'd probably have to buy it like piecemeal, which will probably cost me more in the end. But, you know, it's a lot of money to sink into a board all at once. Yeah, I picked something up for Carnivale because I do like the game, but I don't get to play it as often as I'd like to. But it is a really good game, and the miniatures are really nice. They used to be TT Combat's resin was a bit funny sometimes, but it's definitely improved quite a bit. Their sculpting's really nice now as well. And they've got some really nice new packaging for the Carnivale stuff as well. So what else to go to? You spoke to somebody from Sharp.
Oh, I did, yeah. I got to speak to the Sharp TV series. The actor who played Harris, Jason Sulkey, he writes about Sharp and other things as well, and he was there doing signings, and I really wanted to get his autograph because I saw him at Salute the previous year, and I chickened out of talking to him because I was a bit starstruck, and I was like, that's Harris from Sharp. And this year I pulled up the nerve to talk to him, and I've got a signed photograph. I did want to buy his book as well because he's got a book about the making of the TV series and the misadventures they had doing it. Quite one of those. Well, back in the day, it was all different sort of experiences of making TV programs. And I got this. Oh, I might as well say this story. So I bought the autograph, he signed it to me and everything on the photo, and I tried to pay, and this is where I found out that my phone has terrible internet connection because I've got a new service provider and you just couldn't get reception at all in the NEC, and I'm desperately trying to pay with my phone. Nothing is happening, and I'm getting very, very anxious because I'm an anxious person, and I'm apologising a lot, and I'm like, oh God, this is so embarrassing. Finally you turned up and went, here, let me try, and tried your card, and your card worked. And I was like, oh God, thank you. Went off, going like, oh, why is it always me? I had to cringe. Yeah, but he was a lovely, lovely bloke. He did talk to me for quite some time about the making of it and some of the little adventures he's had. And I think I'll probably pick his book up later on from Amazon to have a look at because I thought, yeah, I'll probably want that. And I didn't get around to going back for it.
Yeah, and that's, I think, depending on what date they announce for it next year, I might go all 3 days next year.
I'd love to do all 3 days because we live close enough where driving to it is every day is doable and certainly would be cheaper than staying in the hotel. But we'll have to look at that.
Yeah, it just depends on what they announce for it. I'd like to stay into the hotel, to be honest, personally, but that's because they have like a lot of role playing things in the hotels.
Yeah, you can actually do the events in the evening. It would be good.
I wouldn't have to worry about driving home and like an hour. I could just like, if I wanted to stay up till midnight, I could stay up till midnight, and I have to think, oh, I've got to go home and it'll be 1 o'clock before I get to sleep, and then drive back in the morning at 9 o'clock again. You'd
have to get in early bird on the hotel deals.
Yeah,
because I did look at it. It ain't cheap. Stop there for 3 nights.
I do not expect it to be cheap, and that's fine. It would be a 1 year experience, but it all depends on when it is next year. I don't know when they announce the dates.
Yeah, it's usually the same weekend.
Yeah, it's usually the bank holiday weekend. But if it falls into the start of June, it starts to get dicey. So we'll see. What else was there that we saw that was interesting? Oh, there's a gaming app that I still need to read things about
Go Gaming events. Or yeah,
something like that, wasn't it? I need to read that because that was quite interesting. Sort of organising events and things, and getting groups and sort of getting numbers. Because one of the things that we've considered running Dystopian Wars tournaments and Armoured Clash tournaments because you're a war host, and it would give you, like, you get points for it, don't you?
In theory, I don't know how well that's doing that anymore. But yeah, at the end of the day, I would love to run a tournament. What's always worried me is will people come, and we've got to put, there are costs up front you have to do to this. You've got to book a hall and you've got to put some sort of deposit down, and that's always worried me that if no one comes, there's £200 just gone.
Yeah. I mean, it's much cheaper at Black Dragon. I think it's £10 a table, but we don't know how many tables we're going to get and how many players we're going to get. So you need to kind of get a rough idea of numbers before you can do that. And that gaming app would kind of give us that before we even booked a venue. We could get a rough guide on numbers, and if it was more tables than we could get at Black Dragon, then a hall would need to be booked, but then we'd know people are actually going to turn up and deposits wouldn't get lost. So
yeah, I mean, our hometown is about as centrally located as you can get.
Yeah.
It's pretty. I mean, by train, it's really easy to get to, and it's got good links to the motorway and so on. It's just, will people come to the Midlands?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people from the north won't come to the Midlands, and people from the south won't come to the Midlands, but then people from the Midlands won't go to the north or the south. So it's a double-edged sword.
Typical British
Yeah,
thing.
like
more than 30 miles. That's a long way.
Yeah, America is like 2 days trip. Oh, yeah, I can swing that for a tournament. It's like, it's more than 2 hours. No thanks.
In America, you can travel 2 days and still be in the same state.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yet they will do it for Adepticon. They'll travel the breadth of the country just to go there. So but their travel systems are better than ours generally. Yeah, so that was quite interesting. I might try and set something on there, and I think that was it. I mean, it's a really good event to go and every single booth has a demo table. We never get a chance to sort of sit down and play. I really, really wanted to have a go at, and I've just remembered this. MS Paints is a YouTube channel. He does a lot of sort of not Warhammer content. So he does a lot of like making dioramas, and he did a really cool Mythos table with the Dunsmith set that Warcradle sent him. He did like a really good like seaside town, and that's how I found him.
Didn't he do the behind the scenes at the how the Warcradle Scenics was made? Was that the same guy?
I think it might have been, yeah. I think he did do a Warcradle Scenics Wayland game sort of. This is how plastic injection works, I think. Yeah. And he's done quite a few other videos. He's like really, really. He comes from a movie and TV background, I think. So like, videography is incredible. Yeah. Like he does beautiful shots of things. It's incredible. And he was releasing a game at UK Games Expo called Petrichor, and I really wanted to have a go at that demo, but we got to the table, and this was on the Friday that we went, and it was probably around about 11 o'clock, I would have said, and that table was absolutely stacked with people. People were just desperate to play that game. So I just said to Sam, we'll come back later, and we came back after lunch, still rammed. And then I was like, okay, I'll check one more time before we go and play this game of Armoured Clash. And it was still rammed full of people. And I was just like, oh, well, never mind. I'll just wait and see if there's a video that comes out about it and see if there's a demo for it there instead. But yeah. Some of the popular stuff. And I remember when we wanted to demo Shatterpoint, Star Wars Shatterpoint, a couple of years ago, we had to take a virtual ticket or something, didn't we? And they'd come back in an hour or so before we could get there, and then we went there pretty early doors after Warcradle as well. So if you do want to demo something that's going to be popular, then you're going to have to be mindful of the fact that it's going to be busy at those tables probably, because I think the Trench Crusade demo tables were rammed as well. So you just have to plan to either queue for a while if you're going to get something, or maybe come back another day. And that's why 3 days would be good at UK Games Expo, because you'd be able to
actually do everything that you want to do.
Yeah, do the seminars, do the events, do demos, and then if you buy something, you can go and sit in the open gaming area and play a game. But I can't think of anything else. Have you got anything else you can think of?
I think that covers it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I did get to see Tempest Train, who do the rapid fire dice boxes. I've seen these all over online and Kickstarters, because it was all 3D printed. I was like, I haven't got a 3D printer, but they're selling them physically. I was like, yes, please, got one. Works really well, like that.
Have you got any? I mean, your MVP is clearly going to be Weaponized Hubris.
It's either Weaponized Hubris or just my scythe just ploughing into you at the start. I think I'm going to go with the Weaponized Hubris. Yeah.
Sternpanzers are going to be my MVP for my side. They I haven't used them so far. They are Galahad adjacent, I would say. They've got a really long range on them, like 20 something inches. They're almost as long as your artillery ranges.
That's impressive. Yeah. That's a long reach out and touch somebody.
Yeah, they were really good. Really enjoyed those.
Be interested to see how they stack up against Galahads. I suspect the Galahad would win.
Yeah, I think
on account it's tougher.
Yeah, with that resilient front and yeah, I think the Stone Panzers might be a little bit quicker than the Galahads, possibly, but I'm not sure. Maybe somebody will do a deep dive on it, but it won't be me.
Indeed. Right then. So what have we got coming up? We are hoping in summer to go down south again and visit Wayland Games and maybe get something played on the Game Centre now it's fully open, because we got the behind the scenes tour last summer. Yep. This summer we'd like to go down and actually play some stuff down there.
Try some of the food. All looks pretty incredible. So,
it does, yeah.
Get some food there. Play a game there. Not sure what, but be cool to do.
Really should get a DW game in.
Yeah, we should do.
Yeah.
I think we'll do like a strip down. We won't do the standard rules because I think they're a little bit too light for us, because the crippled just not happening and things like that. I think if
we'll have a game. We'll give it a bash.
We won't play a big points. We'll just play
we need to ease ourselves into the new rules and get our heads around the new ones rather than the rules creep that always happens to me. Hang on, is that this version or is that version? I always do that when I've got to play a new version. So we shall see.
Yes, and then like we said earlier, we may get a chance to speak to Jonathan Green. We are hoping to do, obviously this is a video battle report, we do want to get back to the podcast, do some just episodes of that. But we were planning on going back to doing our faction deep dives for Wild vs Exodus, but now from the Discord all of those factions look like they're changing, so we kind of really don't want to like invalidate. At least the ones we've done so far mostly are staying. We did Watchers, which are staying. We did Hex, which is possibly sounds like it's changing to the Zombu.
It's more focused on the Zombu, but
yeah,
that's still Marie. It's Marie and friends, so yeah, that ain't going anywhere. That's not changed much.
I mean, some of the Enlightened stuff might get folded into that, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we did the Order, which are staying the same as well. So the three factions we've done, 2 of the 3 are staying the same. So we'll just have to wait.
We shall have to wait and see what happens with Exodus. We may get a few more games in of the old rules beforehand, just because we love it.
Yeah, it might be nice to do something a little bit crazy for the sort of sending off. Maybe another homebrewy scenario. We'll see what we can do. There's only 6 months of the year left now, so that's 2 games that we get to play.
Yeah, with our pitifully slow gaming rate.
Yes. So yeah, but yeah, hopefully we'll do some more podcast episodes, and the Jonathan Green one will definitely be podcast and probably converted to video, because not everybody likes just audio and not everybody likes video. So the interview stuff we try to get into both formats, because people appreciate both types. So,
yep, I think that pretty much covers it. So
we'll catch you in the next one.
Until next time, happy trails, pilgrims.